Welcome to EMGM Sports. It's the Let's Talk About It podcast, episode 3. And on this episode, I want to talk about Deontay Wilder, the bronze bomber from Alabama. Let's get it. So on Saturday, the 1st of June, out in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, there was a new format, a new boxing format, 5v5. It was 5 fighters from Frank Warren's Queensberrry Promotions and 5 fighters from Eddie Hearn's Matchroom's promotion. It was a great card. It was a great card. I love this new format. I hope that they do it a lot more in the future. And listening to Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, they're probably gonna do it a bit more as well. So that's great. It's good for boxing. We can get a lot more fights in one night, and we can get some of the best fighters, do you know what I mean, under the same card. So that would be great. That would be great. Overall, respect to the promoters, do you know what I mean? They've done their thing. All the fighters out there in Saudi Arabia done their thing. Some great matchups as well. I really enjoyed it. But today I want to talk about Deontay Wilder. Where should I start? Where should I start, man? So Deontay Wilder, he was taking on Zhan. Both fighters coming out of losses by Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker beat both fighters, and do you know what? Yeah, these fights from Zhan and Wilder, it was all about like who can still stay relevant, who can keep their career going, because a loss for either one of these fighters was probably the end. Zhang is 41 years old. Deontay Wilder is 38, both coming to the end of the road, the end of their boxing career. So it was vital that the winner of this fight will carry on and go on to probably have another crack at a future title fight or get AJ or one of those big fighters, and the loser most likely retire. And unfortunately for Deontay Wilder, he ended up on the losing side, and he lost via knockout. And this is what I want to talk about today, man. I just want to talk about my boy, Deontay Wilder, man. I just want to say, look, he's been a great, great servant to the sport, man. Look, he came into the sport. I heard his story, yeah, great story. He came into the sport to, support his disabled daughter. He wanted to support him financially. And you know what? The brother's done great, man. He's done great things. He's earned a lot of money for a guy who's such a limited boxer. Like, he's not a skilled boxer, yeah. Like any coach, any fighter, any boxer with some pedigree, yeah, will tell you that Wilder's never really had those fundamentals. Like, I don't think he had any amateur career or anything like that. So he's not the most skillful fighter, Deontay Wilder. We can all see that. But one thing that he did have, he always had our right hand as the equalizer. Do you know what I mean? And in his younger days, he was knocking everyone out. He was knocking everyone clean out, straight. Do you know what I mean? Even though he lacked the skills, but he had that power. So that power was always there to get him out of trouble. Whenever he got in trouble, he had that power. We saw it in the fight against Ortiz, where in both fights against Ortiz, where he was in trouble, nearly got knocked out, but he managed to hang on in there. And eventually he was able to land that right hand and knock out Ortiz in like the 11th round, even though he was losing the fight. So Deontay Wilder's always had that God-given power. But in the last couple of fights, that power seems to diminish. He has left him. He hasn't looked the same. And I always say this year, the fight between him and Tyson Fury, especially from the second fight and the third fight, that took a lot out of those two fighters. Like, for me personally, Fury's never he's never been the same since those two, the second and the third fights against Wilder. And Wilder, he's completely lost it. He's just completely lost it. I know he had another fight after that where he had a knockout. He knocked the guy out, but he hasn't been the same Wilder that we know. Like, even the right hand is just not there no more. He can't find it. And fighters just don't respect that right hand no more. We saw him in a fight against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was able to take away that right hand away from Wilder because he was fighting on the inside. He was coming in quick, letting off bombs. And Wilder just never had a chance. He never had that space to let that right hand go. In fact, in that fight against Joseph Parker, he looked like Parker was going to knock him out. At one stage, Parker was going to knock Wilder out. And he was looking that bad. So it's just Wilder's just not being the same. And just looking at this fight against Zhang, again, man, the jab just wasn't there. He just looked like a complete amateur, man. Yeah, man, he didn't look good at all. He didn't look good at all. He didn't look fit. I mean, the size difference was telling. Like, it was enormous. Like, you know, it had like Zhang had like 30 pounds on Wilder. Like, that's crazy. That is wild. Like, that, I don't know how that's allowed, but hey, heavyweight is heavyweight, innit? If you're in there, you're in there. You know exactly what you're doing. And when I was watching the fight at the start of it, I looked at Wilder. Like, before the fight, he talked a lot about he can't afford to lose this fight. Like, if he loses this fight, he was already talking retirement himself, you know, because he knew this is probably his final chance to have a shot at the big time. Do you know what I mean? He wins this fight, he can get a crack at AJ at Wembley and make big money. But he knew it. He kept saying it, and I was looking at him. I was thinking, you know what? Wilder does look serious in this fight. You know what I mean? He looks focused. He was talking a good game. Like, that's the thing about a lot of these fighters, man. He was talking a good game, and I'm thinking, you know what? Because of that performance he had against Joseph Parker, where he was so, like, he absolutely done nothing for 12 rounds, yeah? I'm thinking, you know what? This is a chance of redemption for Wilder. And you know what? Zhang is probably a tailor-made opponent, because with Joseph Parker, he was moving around. He was smaller, more mobile. Do you know what I mean? Using the jab to get on the inside. And do you know what I mean? He made it an uncomfortable night for Deontay Wilder. But I was thinking, you know what? Zhang is 41 years old. You know, he's kind of a stationary target. He's not as mobile as Joseph Parker. Yeah, he's going to probably stand there and trade with Deontay Wilder. So I thought, you know what, this might just he might, you know what, Wilder might just have a chance at this, because if he can plant his foot, yeah, he can let that right hand go, and Zhang will just be standing there. If he eats one of those, it's gonna be good night. But you know what, yeah, the complete opposite happened, man. The complete opposite happened. Wilder was in there just, I don't know, man. He looked like he lacked ideas. It just looked like he just didn't know what he was doing in there. I mean, Zhang just dominated the fight. He looked like he was just the most skilled fighter. You can tell the level of skill. Do you know what I mean? Just watching that fight, you don't even need to be like, you don't need the greatest boxing eye or boxing IQ to actually understand the difference in skill level between Zhang and Wilder. And you know what I mean? And in the fifth round, I think Wilder try and go for the right. He try and throw it right. Zhang responded with a left hook, and he hit Wilder, and Wilder turned around. Like, he turned around. He turned his back, kind of complaining to the referee. I don't understand what he was complaining about. And as he turned his back, complained to the referee, Zhang hit him with a right and just knocked him out, man. Knocked him out. And it was sad to see that. I was actually, when I was watching that, I was like, oh, that's sad, man. Like, I did not want my man going out like that. I didn't want him to go out like that, but he went out like that. But do you know what I mean? But one thing about in boxing, combat sport in general, they always teach you, like, protect yourself at all times and never turn your back to the opponent. If you turn your back to your opponent, of course you're gonna get hit. And at the heavyweight level with Zhang, you know, come on, man. These guys are beasts. They're massive, man. They're giants, man. And one of them punches, you're out, man. You're going to bed. You're not getting back up. Although to Wilder's credit, he did get back up. Yeah, he got back up, but the referee waved it off because his legs were gone. His legs were gone, and you know what I mean. It was quite sad to see for such a guy that's been. I mean, he's been entertaining. You know what I mean. One thing you can't say about Wilder is he brings the entertainment. You know what I mean. He's got entertainment value, and for me personally, like I said, man, I think it's time to retire because, excuse me, I think it's time to retire because where does he go from here? Where does Wilder go from here? Do you know what I mean? What other fight is out there that Wilder can take? especially in the heavyweight division. I mean, there's nothing else. There's no one else that he can face that will generate any money anyway. Do you know what I mean? That will generate any interest. Like the only fight that would have generated interest is with AJ. If he got past Zhang, he would have had a crack at AJ. But now, yeah, if anyone, I dare one of these promoters try and make that fight with AJ and Wilder, they should be locked up. They need to be sanctioned because AJ will win by first degree murder. Do you know what I mean? It's not even fair. That fight should not even be allowed. Like if Wilder's getting terrorized by Joseph Parker and getting knocked out by Zhan, who's 48 years old, yeah, AJ will absolutely annihilate him, especially the current AJ, who's linked up with Ben Davison. Excuse me. He'll absolutely knock out AJ, man. I mean, sorry, AJ will absolutely obliterate Wilder. So that's not even, forget about that. I don't even want to see that, man. That ship has sailed his water under the bridge. And this is a message to all fighters out there, like promoters and stuff. Like when these fighters are like strike the iron while it's still hot in it. You know what I mean? When Wilder was on top, when he was the baddest man on the planet, the scariest man on the planet, when Wilder was knocking everyone out and AJ was at the top, AJ was knocking everyone out. That's when they should have made our fight. Do you know what I mean? Us boxing fans, yes, we've missed out. We've missed out on that fight. We're never really going to find out what would have happened. I wanted to see when AJ was at his pomp and Wilder was at his pomp. That's the fight that everyone wanted to see, man. We wanted to see, that would have been an interesting fight because at that time they were both undefeated. They both had great confidence, and Wilder was knocking everyone out. AJ was knocking everyone out. What a fight that would have been, man. That would have been chaos. Do you know what I mean? That would have been chaos. I honestly, even today, I can't really say who would have won that fight. Obviously, in hindsight, we can all see that obviously Wilder is not as skilled, like he's deteriorated. But however, yeah, at that time, at his peak, at his pomp, when he was younger, you just never know. You just never know. He had the confidence and he could let that right hand go anytime. And if he caught AJ on the chin in one of them, AJ would have went to sleep, man. AJ would have went to sleep, definitely. So that's a shame, and it's a shame we're never going to see that fight. But anyways, going back to Deontay Wilder, my bro, listen. You've made enough money from the sport. You got beautiful family and everything. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing left to prove. Like I can even just looking at the brother, like you can tell, like boxing has left him. A lot of the time with these fighters, yeah, like I do a bit of boxing. I spend time in the gym with boxers. I've seen boxers. I've been around them, and a lot of the time, yeah, the boxing will leave them. They just don't want to leave boxing. That's the sad part about it. Boxing has left them. Do you know what I mean? But in here, they're still thinking they still got it. That's only because, yeah, their whole life is based on boxing. They wake up in the morning, they go to train in the morning, they go to the gym, train in the morning, go back home, do whatever they need to do, and then come back in the evening, do another session training. So their whole life evolves around boxing. Like they don't know nothing else. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the time it's hard to leave that. A lot of people think it's all about the money. Yeah, money is a part of it. Like they do want to make more money and they don't get tired of making millions, especially what's available right now in Saudi Arabia. I bet you if one of them kings in Saudi Arabia comes out and tells Wilder, listen, you can fight a cab driver, I'll pay you 50 million. I guarantee you Wilder coming out and fighting. There's too much money on the table, but money's not always everything. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of these fighters, they struggle. They find it hard to leave their sport because they probably have nothing else to do. Because look at a lot of fighters, that's where their life is. They breathe and live in the gym. That's all they know. Do you know what I mean? That's all they know. And walking away from that, a lot of them, it could cause depression, mental health, and it's crazy. And a lot of fighters find it hard. But you know what? Yeah, just for Deontay Wilder, because he's had them wars with Tyson Fury, yeah, that's done a lot of damage to him. And he's been taking a lot of damage in the last two fights. He got knocked out in the last fight against Zhang, yeah. I just don't want to see him take more damage because even though walking away from the sport is going to be the hardest thing for him to do, yeah, but I still want him to have a great family life in the next 20 years, you know what I mean? To enjoy, to see his grandkids and enjoy and have fun with them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want him to have complications when he's older or when he gets older. Do you know what I mean? Where he's shaking, where he has to be fed with a spoon and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? If he wants to carry on and he takes more damage, that's the danger, man. Look, he's made enough money. He's got a beautiful family. He's got everything that he's ever desired. Do you know what I mean? And he's been the world champion. He's done all that. He's fought Tyson Fury. So it's nothing left for Wilder to prove, man. He's for a guy that's limited, yeah. For a guy that has limited boxing skills to make it where he's made, it's an incredible achievement. It's an incredible achievement. Do you know how many skilled fighters there are in this world that never make it to the level where Wilder's made it, who are way more skilled than Wilder, but never make it to the highest level, to the elite level, and get the opportunity to make millions the way Wilder has. Wilder, you know what I mean? He has to be proud of his achievements, man. He's done fantastic. He's done incredible. He's probably achieved way beyond his wildest imagination. So he should just be happy with that and just walk away. Do you know what I mean? I know it's going to be hard for him. He's got some big decisions to make, and I just hope that he's got the right people around him that can actually sit him down, talk to him, and just show him that, look, there's another way, you know, there's another path. There's a life, there is life after boxing. I just hope so. I just hope that Wilder makes the right decision for himself and his family. I don't want to see him step back in a ring. It just looks like he's got nothing left. Boxing has left him. You know what I mean? I wish him all the best, man. But listen, bro, do not get back in that ring, man, especially a heavyweight. There's nothing left there for you. But, you know, I've heard rumors, I've heard some talks in the last few days. He might go to the bridgeweight division, the new division. You know, he might go there. That actually might suit him. He's not the biggest heavyweight. If I cruiserweight or the bridgeweight, the new division, the new weight division, he can fight there. But who's there to fight? Who's exciting? Like, who's really gonna pay the pay-per-view or buy the tickets to go watch? Like, who's in those weight divisions that will really excite Wilder or excite the public, the boxing fans to come out and support that fight and watch it? There's no one there. There's no one there. All the fighters that we wanted to see Wilder fight, they're in the heavyweight division, and because he's lost the last two fights convincingly and he got knocked out in the last fight, I don't know, man. I don't see a way back, man. I don't see a way back. But anyway, guys, listen. Let me know in the comments, man. What do you think, man? Is it time for Wilder to retire? Should he carry on, maybe move down the division to cruiserweight or the bridgeweight? You let me know, man. You let me know. But for me, personally, Wilder should retire. He's done it all. He's made the money. You know, he's been world champ. Time to hang it up. He hasn't really got in him no more. He's getting knocked out. He's getting bullied. The right hand's gone. Time to hang it to hang him up. To hang those gloves up, man. It's been a great career. Go off to the sunset and enjoy yourself. Listen, man, this has been the Let's Talk About It podcast with your boy Enzo, episode 3. I really appreciate you for watching this video. Keep supporting. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. I'll see you again on the next episode 4, which will come out next Tuesday. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, peace.